Time now, though, to go through some of the other news as well. And joining us this morning is lawyer... Now, sorry, I've got to ask this. I thought it last time and I didn't. You know what's coming now. Is lawyer and futurist Andrew Eborn.
Yeah.
Also, the equally as exciting as well, author Rabina Khan. What's a futurist?
I thank you. I knew you were going to say that, and that's what futurists
like
do.
The future, isn't it?
We basically say, people will say history repeats itself, and the reason history repeats itself is because we never learn the lessons from history. So what we do, we look at patterns in history and predict the future. And Ellie and I have sat on this very place for the last, 18 months. So ever since last year we were here as well.
You're a futurist.
And we predict things. So, for example, if you look at my webpage, Octopus TV, on the 19th of November, I predicted the World Cup and all the results and everything else and the shenanigans and so on. And it was correct. Argentina won. I predicted about Japan and about the other bits and pieces. But also what we do, we look at also in politics and things like that, because people never learning from their mistakes. So Rishi Sunak, for example, not learning from Lady Hussey about things that you should be speaking to people about. I also knew that Patrick was going to be here, so I've got a jumper for you, Patrick. Here we go. Oh, come on. No, this is good. Do you see what I've got here? There we go.
I hate Christmas. Well, I don't hate Christmas. I love Christmas.
It's the Grinch.
Oh.
Well, can I tell you something, though? I was with Aidan in the green room, the posh green room. He was sharing around his cookies, and he said, "Is that a pistachio nut?" And I said, "It's not that's the Grinch. It's not a pistachio nut at all." But anyway, there's an I hate Christmas, but we do love Christmas.
No, well, I won't wear that because I absolutely love it. Right, shall we do some news? Now, you've been sitting there very patiently while we learnt all about futurism. What's going on in the news?
Well, yeah, I do have to just say the Grinch has always reminded me of Tim Curry. I don't know what it was. I think it's the Home Alone movie.
Yeah, I see that.
And I was looking at that, I was thinking, oh, Tim Curry.
Let's have a look at the King's speech, shall we? So 3 o'clock today, we've had lots of viewers saying it's going to be a really emotional one, but it's also significant, isn't it? Because it's the first time we're going to see the King's speech televised.
Yeah, absolutely. And the King's speech is going to be delivered from St George's Chapel, Windsor, and it is the exact place where the world saw the Queen's coffin. That was the last time that they saw the Queen's coffin. I don't think the King's going to sway away from the tradition of the Queen's speech. And I think we need to remember the Queen also, she wrote her own speeches, and it was also from the help of her husband, the late Prince Philip. And I wonder whether or not he would have that kind of connection with Queen Consort Camilla, whether or not he would go to her in writing his speech. Will it be solemn and will it be reflective? I think it will be, because in this time of the cost of living, the Ukraine war, all the things that are happening, I think it will be very solemn and reflective.
Andrew, how do you feel about the idea that the King is going to have a lavish coronation? I mean, a lot of people say, oh, he should reflect the cost of living crisis. I think, no, screw that, you're the King. Stack the gold high.
That's exactly what they say in palace stores, actually, with those exact words. Yeah. I think you're right. You look at the pomp and ceremony, which we do better than any other country in the world. And if you look at the audience figures for the Queen's wonderful celebration for her Jubilee and what happened there, and the way that we commemorated with her passing, the way that we do that, it's absolutely... The royal family are one of our biggest tourist assets. So you're right. You don't want a budget coronation. We want somebody that unites the country. We need to celebrate the good, and we're talking about some positive stories. At the moment, the world is dominated by negative stories, by war and famine and pestilence and all that sort of stuff. We need to have some positive stuff. I think looking forward to the coronation is something we can all do. And it's interesting, it coincides with a certain birthday as well for one of Harry's children. And it's interesting they picked that date.
Very, very interesting. Andrew, let's have a look at the Santa tracker.
Oh, I love it. And GB News, they've got their own little Santa tracker, I believe. I don't know if you've got a video of it, but what I love is he's a bit late, isn't he? I'm trying to work out time things around the world. This is what Patrick's going to give me for Christmas. He's going to give me a virus. Thank you. A COVID Christmas from Patrick. It's going to go. Oh, here we go. There's Santa. Look at him go.
Where is he now? Can we see where he is?
Well, I think he's just over Bognor Regis. If I recognise
Bognor Regis isn't that bleak.
I think he's in the west coast of the US. Las Vegas, does it say up there, I think?
Santa's gone to Vegas.
Santa's
Oh,
gone.
we'll never see him again.
We'll never see him again.
Vegas.
I love it.
But Santa's been spending rather a long time over Vegas, it would appear, actually, hasn't he? Yeah, Santa's having
Is
fun.
he running a bit late?
He is. I'm trying to work out the time differences
let me
because
have a look.
where are Christmas Eve? We're already. What's the time now? 7:51.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's still last night, so it would be America. So anywhere 8 hours behind us
It's not even
would be good. So California, he'll be there. I reckon the Californians will be looking forward to their raisins and better weather. I hope Santa's going to bring them.
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
Yes, that's true, actually. I mean, we were talking yesterday about strikes, not being able to get anywhere, but at least we're not dealing with that kind of...
Well, you're right. I talked about the Grinch that stole Christmas. It's been the Lynch that stole Christmas this year, hasn't it? Talking about strikes. always a
Absolutely, yes.
nightmare.
I'm not looking forward to my Well, I am looking forward to it because then it means I get to go home, of course.
Yeah.
But either way, though, it's a 4-hour drive, so, you know. There is that... Right.
Today?
Yeah, after this.
And then you're coming back tonight?
No, I'm going to come back tomorrow.
OK.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a lot of driving for you.
It is. That's the fact. Yeah, anyway.
Busy.
News.
Yeah.
News.
Yeah.
Go on, what
Well,
else you got
I
for
do
us?
have to say on the Santa tracker that 92% of children aged 8 and younger believe in Santa. And I
As of
think that
course they
is...
should.
They should,
that is-
100%.
That is something wonderful for children to have that belief, even amongst all of this
Yep.
gloom, and it's there. And I
It's
think it
magic,
just gives...
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's magic.
Yeah, it truly is. Let's have a look at a huge loss in the music world, shall we, Rubina? This is in the Telegraph, on the Telegraph website, because they're on the newspapers today. It's Maxi Jazz, who's died at the age of 65.
Yeah, Maxi Jazz, a DJ born in Brixton. He died, and it's... I didn't know this, but he was a Buddhist as well.
Really?
So it is a major loss. But another major loss was the Specials Terry Hall, who
Yes.
passed away. So it's important to remember all of these people and to remember them in, as Andrew said, in a positive light. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of singing, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of dancing, and we just need a DJ. So maybe...
Oh, gosh.
And as we were saying, it's no age, is it? 65. It's so young.
Very young.
Yeah, such a loss. Andrew, let's have a look at this on the BBC website.
Yes.
It's a little bit different. It's about bison.
It's a
herds.
great story, and you know the difference between a buffalo and a bison. Well, you can't wash your hands in a buffalo. I thank you. But what bison are superb. There's a European bison herd has been joined by a bull. Can you believe it? At Wilder Blean Woods, and a bull's been introduced to the herd near Canterbury, Kent. And there are basically 3 female bison, which are once indigenous in Britain, but they've been extinct for thousands of years. They were introduced in July. Now, one of them came over from Ireland and found out she was pregnant. That's what happens if you go and party in Ireland.
Okay.
So she came along, but they've now introduced the bull, and it's been a bit delayed, the bull. So it's supposed to come over in August, but couldn't fill in the paperwork and didn't pass the test.
Brexit for you.
That's Brexit for you.
Yeah.
But he now has joined this herd, and they're hoping for great things. Now, the great thing about bison is they're really good for the environment, because what happens is they graze on non-native conifers. You didn't know this, did you? Non-native conifers, and basically it helps the environment. It basically creates paths for other animals to use. What I love about bison as well is that 283 days gestation period, about 9 months. And what they do, they're born standing up, which is brilliant. And within a few hours, they can run around and gamble in Las Vegas with Santa and work on that sort of basis. So this is a great positive story for Christmas. Bison being returned to this countryside.
Of bison facts.
Thank you. Was that good?
We got them all in. Yeah.
Bisons are known as ecosystem engineers, apparently.
They are. That's exactly what they are.
Yes.
Who knew we knew years ago?
They study a lot.
Job title that get you 150 grand a year on the NHS. Right, OK, plenty more to come on Christmas Day breakfast show.